Good morning, everyone. I hope you have already noted down the syllabus for the weekly test, which is going to be held on Monday, 22nd June, and that is from economics. This chapter, the story of village Palampur, chapter number 1, that is included. So students, today that some class notes and some extra questions except the exercise questions I have given. So let us see what type of questions are given and what are the answers. So first question, that is, what are the factors of production? Factors of production means that whenever we are going for the activity of production, at that time some inputs are required. These inputs are called as factors of production. So here it is written, the essential inputs which are required for the production of goods and services are known as factors of production. So that means factors of production include, it may be labor, it may be capital, it may be technology, it may be money. That fixed capital, that is working capital, all are coming under factors of production. So as here example also one given, for the production of cloth, cotton it is required because cotton is the raw material, machine is required, labor is also, and technology that is also required. So these are the factors of that is cloth production. So next question, which is the most important economic activity of the people in rural India? That means rural India means in villages. In villages, what is the most important economic activity? That is farming, crop cultivation mainly. Next, that is, what capital is needed as first priority to set up a jaggery manufacturing unit? What capital means here? That is fixed capital. Fixed capital means what type of capital we are talking about? Fixed capital means that which is not consumed, which cannot be destroyed in the production of a good or service, can be used multiple times, like property, building, equipment. Fixed capital for long term. Fixed capital, it is not as a, that is a liquid asset, that is called as fixed capital. So mainly that is fixed capital means it is for long term, it cannot be consumed or destroyed in the production of a good or service, and it can be used multiple times, that is called as fixed capital. So here some fixed capital examples given: tools, machines, building, etc. Next question, give a few examples of fixed capital. Already I have told, like tools, machines and buildings. Give 2 examples of the working capital. Here working capital means what? Just opposite of fixed capital. That is for it is one type of short term asset. It can be consumed at the time of production of a good or service, and it cannot be used multiple times. It is one liquid asset. Here that is the difference between fixed capital and working capital. So here 2 examples of the working capital: raw materials which can be consumed or destroyed at the time of production of a good or service. It cannot be used multiple times. It is for one time. Money also in hand, it is also working capital. Define the meaning of which thing? Production. So production means what? Production is the creation of value in a commodity. That means we have converted the cotton into cloth. Whenever you will check the price of the cotton and cloth in the market, which price is more in the market? That is the price of cloth. What is the reason? Because there are so many things are added at the time of production of cloth. That's why clothes value is more than the cotton. That's why it is written, production is the creation of value. That means we are producing more valuable products. Just like that, from steel we are manufacturing car. Whose value is more? The value of car is more than the steel. So that's why here in the definition it is written, production is the creation of value. We are producing that different type of more valuable products by this process. So there are 2 definitions given. Production is the creation of value in a commodity. We are creating value, we are giving value to the commodity. Or another definition, the process of making, manufacturing from components or raw materials. like that is in this example, that car is manufactured from steel. So what is the raw material here? Steel. And what is the product here? Car. And whose value is more? The value of the car is more than the steel. So that is called as production. And what is the aim of production? The aim of production is to produce the goods and services that we want. Why we are doing production? Because we have different type of needs, we have different type of demands, we have to fulfill these needs, we have to fulfill these demands, and that's why we need production. Then we can get goods and services what are required for our, that is different type of daily needs. The clay used by a potter is an example of which type of capital? The clay used by a potter is an example of working capital, because clay is the raw material to produce different type of pots. That's why it is working capital. Why is it important to use land very carefully? Why? Because land is a natural resource. Already in 8th class you read about this thing. Land is a natural resource. Once destroyed, that means destroyed means what? When it will be degraded due to different type of mishandling, misuse, overuse and exploitation, then it is very difficult to restore it. That's why it is important to use land very carefully, because if land will be degraded due to our mistakes, what type of mistake? Misuse, overuse and exploitation, then it will be very difficult for us to restore it. And we know very well land is important for us. It is a resource. It supports so many economic activities. That's why we have to use the land very carefully. What are Rabi crops? The crops which are grown in the winter season. The first and the most important thing, Rabi crops means it is cultivated in the winter season. Now another thing, always remember, whenever we are talking about Rabi crops and winter season, always one thing is associated, that is also that it mainly depends on the irrigation. Clear? It is not dependent on the, that is rainfall, because in our country in the winter season the amount of rainfall is very less. So Rabi crops grown in the winter season and it is dependent on the irrigation facility. November December month, at that time, that is crops are that is sown and then harvested in summer, that is April or May. What type of crop? That is, one example is given, that is wheat. What are kharif crops? It is that type of crop which is cultivated in the rainy season. Rainy season means with the help of rainfall. Here irrigation facility is not required. It is not important, because at that time rainfall is going on, rainy season is there. So when we are sowing the crops, June or July, and harvesting in the month of October or November. Example is rice. Next, that is farmer's plow. Is an example of which factors of production? It is a fixed capital, because it is one type of, that is you can say that is tool. It is one type of tool to cultivate. That's why it is a fixed capital. Which is the most abundant factor of production? That is labor. Always remember, that is labor. Without labor we cannot do the production activity. That's why. What is physical capital? Physical capital includes variety of inputs required at every stage during production, like machines, raw material, etc. Clear? So machines, raw material, etc. Here another interesting thing, physical capital, it may be fixed capital, it may be working capital. Machines, it is fixed capital. Raw material, it is working capital. Next, that is, what are different categories of physical capital? Here that is different categories I have already told. Physical capital are of two types, fixed capital and working capital. Fixed capital means it cannot be consumed, it cannot be destroyed at the time of production of goods or services, and also it can be used for multiple times, and it is for long term investment. It is a long asset, so it is not a liquid asset. That is called as fixed capital. And working capital means it can be consumed, it can be destroyed at the time of production of a good or service. It can be used only for one time, not for multiple times, and it is for short term, and it is a liquid asset. Clear? Categorize the following as fixed capital, working capital. Two examples are given, cotton and machine. You can guess. Cotton is the raw material and machine is the technology related. That means machine is coming under fixed capital, cotton is coming under working capital. Which term is used for production for self consumption? That means you are farmer, you are doing crop cultivation, and this crop is mainly used by your family member. You are not selling it in the market. That means it is called as self consumption. You are producing crop, you are cultivating crop, and this crop is used by you and your family member. You are not selling it in the market, so that is called as self consumption or self sustenance. And at that time we are telling it subsistence farming. This farming will be called as what? Subsistence farming. In geography 8th class also you have already read this one. Point out a few effects of modern farming method. Here effects means bad impacts, that is ill effects, not good for us, that type of effect. A few effects of modern farming method, like soil degradation. Soil degradation means what? That we are plowing so many times in a year for more than one time crop cultivation. We are applying so many times types of chemicals, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, etc. That's why soil is degraded. Reduced water table below the ground, because we are now extracting or taking out the underground water for more than one time crop cultivation. That's why underground water level is decreasing. And water pollution, because due to the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, the water gets polluted. So these are the bad impacts or ill effects of modern farming method. All over you should know that is the effect of our greediness. We are greedy, we want more and more, we want so many things, and that's why that type of things are originated. Mention some natural factors of production. Natural factors means these are totally controlled by natural process. Nature providing us that type of factors, nature controlling these factors, like land, it is totally natural resource, forest natural resource, water natural resource, minerals, these are natural resources. So that's why these are written here, because question is asking natural factors of production, that means which are provided by nature or which are controlled by nature. So students, you are requested to write down these question answer in your class note copy of economics. I have also attached one PDF file. You will take help of this PDF file and you will write down all the questions. So if you have any query, you put up your query, you tell me that where is your problem, or you have seen any question which is difficult to answer that type of question. You tell me and I will try to solve your problem. So thank you for today. Next day we will discuss other things.